I just heard a video that was straight on Drew. My grandmother told my mother one day that the reason why me and my siblings don't get along is because of her. And she was fucking right. The reason I can say that is because this. My mother made me the scapegoat, the problem child, the issue, don't get too close, you'll get bit type shit, like I was a snake. You'll get bit because I'm going to tell you the truth, right? Because I'm the problem child. So don't follow what I do, follow what I don't do. My older brother was a golden child. My younger brother was a golden child, and I was a scapegoat. I was the one who had to fit in boxes, never fit in the right boxes, never could compare. Yeah. And then I had children. And I ain't gonna lie, I never loved any of my children more than the other. I couldn't. I begged God to take me away if I loved one child more than the other. And you know, my son will make the joke, Mom, you love me more? No, I'm not grandma. I'm never going to make one of y'all feel less than the other. I love y'all the same. Unconditional with all my heart, and both y'all are equals. Neither one of y'all can do anything to make me stop loving you. And that's the difference in my love and my mother's toward me. Is I broke a line that I didn't even know I had to break, but I broke it. Because I was so scared of hurting my kids the way I was hurt. Now, don't get me wrong, I was an unhealed mother. The whole time I had my kids, I was unhealed. I was trying to break family curses without even knowing I was trying to break them. But I was unhealed. So I still damaged my kids. Because I didn't know yelling was abusive. Losing my cool was abusive. Getting worked up was abusive. And lashing out. That's the only way I knew how to handle life. That's all I knew. And I don't lie about that. I will never downgrade the impact that blowing up, bottling up, and then exploding will do to anybody, much less my own children. I did that to my children. I did. I faltered my children with that. But if I go back, I'd change it. How many people can say that? I also only showed my children love in front of my children. I never loved the partner that was in front of my children very much. Like I love my children. I always love my children more. And that means I was not with my right partner the whole time I was with them. And that's okay. I wasn't meant to be. I was meant to see my faults and admit them. And a lot of people can't do that. But I can. I loved my children. I loved them more than I loved any man. My whole life. I showed them more love, more grace, more dignity. I apologized when I fucked up. A lot. And then they went to live with my brother. The golden child. The one who could do no wrong. The one who everybody had to live up to. The one who got 3 DUIs and still did no wrong and blah, blah, blah. Well, he holds resentment against me. So what did he do with that? He tried making my kids strong. Like my father did him. It's not how you make us strong. You don't hold resentment and break us down to make us strong. That is abuse. In its finest colors in my bloodline. Resentment is not love. Resentment is resentment. It is taking all the anger and pain and putting it on somebody else to inflict injury. Like, how can you do that to a child? That's the question you'd have to ask my dad on that one, because I don't know. I couldn't do it. And my mother. And my brother. But my children. Because breaking down a child is not going to build them up. Adjusting their bad behavior is one thing. Breaking a person down just because you have the power to is pure manipulation. And it is control. And it is way out of line. I believe in disciplining my children. My children were very well mannered because I disciplined them. Discipline my children, not inflict abuse. It was discipline. Yes, I spanked my kids' butts. Yes, I've used a belt on my kid. Yes, I have broke a belt, a cheap ass damn belt. But it doesn't matter. I broke a belt whooping my child. I hit him one time with it and the motherfucker broke. I swung it one time, let's specify. My child has looked at me and laughed and got whooped again. My children would also come to me, lay across my lap and get their spankings, unlike some people's children. Because the amount of respect that I demanded from my children was the same I was willing to give them. But a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't give the respect they demand of their children. And that causes you to have unequally yoked relationship with them. Which means you're going to do stuff to them that your parents did to you that you think is okay when it's not. That soft, gentle parenting, y'all making these kids want nothing in life. They're legit being trained not to be real human beings. They're trained to be robots. I'll agree with a lot of people on that. We're training these kids how to be robots instead of well-mannered adults who can lead, who don't follow the crowd. Most of my generation is addicts because we weren't allowed to communicate our emotions. And then the ones that survive addiction, we chase a different purpose than afterward. Instead of addiction, we chase God, higher power, the universe, whatever you want to call it. We heal and we chase the higher power because we know that higher power is why we made it out of addiction, because we couldn't have done it alone. There's no way. If you ever got off addiction, you would know that. It's the hardest thing to ever do. For a lot of people, healing for me was harder than getting off addiction. See, I didn't do healing and addiction at the same time. I did some, but not a lot. When all the bottles that were in my body finally combusted, it was all at once. It was every feeling at once. It was every emotion I've ever suppressed at once. It was reliving my childhood, my teenage years, middle of my adulthood, and now. It was everything at once. It was one of the most extreme roller coaster rides I've ever been on. And it was one of the hardest ones I ever took. I have a fear. I had a fear of water and ladders. I've been on ladders and in the water so much since it's not even funny. I pulled a pontoon across a lake because it stalled out. It was out of gas, and I got in the water, tied a rope to me, and pulled it across the lake. And I have a fear of water. Yeah, I lost that fear real quickly because there was other people on that boat who I loved, and there was no other boats in sight, and it was time to make them safe. And it looked like there was going to be a storm coming in. What you will do for people you love in a time of need, you'll face your fear. And that's not a lie. I will admit that every day of the week. I got on top of more than one building because I'm small, I'm light, and the buildings were tin roofed, thin, and only braces in between. I'm not taking a chance on watching somebody who I care about fall through. So I get my happy ass up there, knowing I hate heights and knowing I hate ladders. I used to love heights till I had my kids. My nervous system has never been at rest until now, if you want the truth. Which means I have bottled everything because I couldn't tell nobody how I felt. So instead of telling them, I'd bite my lip and I'd eat them words. I'd eat whatever I had to. as long as I could until I blew up. But that doesn't mean that bottle didn't close and new one open and that one below. If you understand what I mean, you understand what I mean. I'm telling you, that roller coaster was not fun. But me looking back at raising my kids, knowing that I hurt them without trying to hurt them, sucks. But it wasn't on purpose. I wasn't my parents to them on purpose. I was conditioned on purpose. It's like my brothers and I do not get along. We were conditioned not to. Every time we got close and got along, my mother would make sure that she separated us. I was actually really depressed at one point and just had surgery. And my brother tried to get close to me to tell me that he cared if I died. And she legit about had a heart attack because he was in my room talking to me instead of us not being near each other, even though we lived in the same house. And that was my little brother who didn't molest me. Like, with my children. Through it. Yeah. Like, she legit conditioned us not to get along like her and her siblings do not. She hates that me and my son got along at all. She went and put a wedge there on purpose and talked about, oh, I did a crackhead. Well, I didn't know that ex-addict is a crackhead. But, you know, what would I know? I don't know who I date. I don't know nothing about nobody. I don't know if people are trying to change to give them a chance. If you don't know them, you don't know them. How would you if you don't try to give them a chance? But it's okay for your friends to fuck you over, but it's not okay for me to give people chances when, look at how many times you fucked me over and I gave you extra chances. Look how many times I forgave you. Oh, that's the difference though. It's you, not somebody else, right? That's what I was always taught, right? Blood's thicker than water. No. Blood ain't. Not the blood that carries in me. My blood. My love from God is thicker than my blood. Because he actually loves me. Not loves me under conditions of me doing this, that, and this. He actually loves me. I ain't got to earn his love. He gives it freely. And that's the reason why he gave me a heart that has unconditional love. That's different.